Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Theorist, here with your host, JC Botero67, aka Vanity Pride. And today we're taking a look at the usual Tower of God, Season 2, Episode 309, The Hell Train 3 Orders. Y'all remember those 3 orders from last time, right? I mean, we get quite a bit of a recap on that, I guess. Not quite, but I mean, other places, other altars, I guess I should say, are getting these orders as well, as was indicated last chapter. But yes, those 3 orders are to kill either Foog, people on the Hell Train, or the Pobedao family. So anyway, let's start off at the very beginning of this chapter here, which did not have a recap. We actually were brought to another part of the tower, below the altar which receives Zahar's orders, the accommodations for the altar administrators. And the altar looks super cool because it has this Tetris look to it. Like, I freaking love Tetris. And so I happened to make that connection after I was reading it and, you know, kind of going through the chapter again to take my notes. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it looks like Tetris. So anyway, not to disrespect the altar in any way. But anyway, we see here again the order. And we are introduced to a new character who is called Stua Arthur. And he is the high priest of this altar, I'm guessing. And there's someone else with him too, but we don't get a name for this person, not even a job title. But anyway, this person's like, what should we do, High Priest? There could be major trouble if people find out about the contents of this order from Lord Zahard. And then Arthur says, yes, there would certainly be a war. The pretext of the first order is clear, but the organization known as Foog is like a religion. It's practically impossible to completely eliminate them. As for the second order, it's actually the least difficult. But the problem is that we would have to violate the rules of the tower, and above all, it's difficult to find a justification for attacking regulars. The third option is truly a nightmare, since it would lead this tower into total war and chaos. Of course, our duty is to deliver orders, not to interpret them. It's up to the military and administrative authorities to decide which of the options in this order to lead history with. But even delivering the last order alone will bring tremendous chaos to the tower. Since there are several rankers from the Pobedao family even among the administrative and military authorities. If the contents of this order are delivered to the Pobedao family, it could lead immediately to the outbreak of a war. So then the other dude says, then what should we do? Which Arthur responds, for now, we'll keep this order classified, and I'll only deliver it to a limited number of people that I can trust. So this other dude's like, what? Like, he's shocked that the high priest is even saying this. Like, even here he says, but in principle, don't we have to present it in front of the ministers? The high priest is like, well, it looks like our new recruit will have to be our sacrificial lamb. So I wonder what he means by that. Maybe he's gonna put the sacrificial lamb into a, tough position, like a sticky situation, because he's new. They're gonna make him look like, oh, well, this dude fucked up. Like, he didn't give the order to everybody as he should have. So I wonder how they're gonna make that work. Right now, I'm trying to backtrack to find out the name of this new dude that we met last chapter, just so y'all know who I'm talking about. Charlie. Charlie the ranker is a newbie. And so, yeah, they're going to try and pin him as the guy who, like, goofed on something. So I'm curious to see how that'll work. And I mean, I meant to say this earlier, too. Like, the high priest dude, I like that guy. Like, I think he seems really cool. But I hope, he doesn't turn out to be villainous, I guess I should say. But then if he's going to try and use Charlie as a sacrificial lamb, that's kind of harsh too. Cuz I really liked that dude too. So I'm kind of torn, but I guess we'll see what happens with that. So anyway, we then come to Wangnan, Bomb, Yuri, and Karaka. Wangnan is still trying to make sense of what the heck just happened and how he wound up on the train again just by grabbing up that sword. So because he's distracted, I don't know how Yuri's distracted. Bomb, of course, is like knocked unconscious. But anyway, Karaka tries attacking Bomb. And so, of course, Yuri steps in. And it's almost as if Yuri and Wangnan traded places. Because Wangnan actually ends up beside Karaka. But that's not by choice. So Karaka's attack that Yuri was able to, fend off actually went and grabbed a hold of Wangnan. And so then Karaka tried using Wangnan as bait, like, oh, hey, Yuri, I'll hurt this kid if you don't leave Juvial Grace. And so Yuri wasn't going to fall for his bribery there. But anyway, it's really cool because eventually that weapon, or Excalibur, activates on its own and ends up disappearing, or how do I say this? Ends up vanishing away Wangnan and Karaka to another part of the train. And of course, this happens right when Yuri and Karaka are about to face off. And so once Karaka sees that they are in another part of the train, he makes the connection that, like, oh, that weapon did something. And so now he's questioning Wangnan about it, but that's all about what we see of them for this chapter. So we won't really know anything happening between them until next time. And, Wangnan's not going to have very many answers for Karaka. Like, Wangnan, again, is still trying to figure out how this weapon works, how it got him on the Hell Train. So Wangnan doesn't have a lot of answers he can give Karaka. Now, Karaka could probably pick up on what this weapon is. Maybe he knows about it and he could offer an explanation. I don't know if that would be to his benefit, because he might want to try and use Wangnan. I mean, he already used him as bait to bribe Yuri, but that didn't work. So I don't know what Karaka will end up doing, or if he even knows much about this weapon at all. But that is something that we'll see next chapter or, down the road. So anyway, we then go to Yura and Traveler. So while they're discussing more important manners, again, I mean, basically this chapter just goes from group to group and everyone's always just like, oh, like, how did we end up on the Hell Train again? So anyway, that's what they're talking about. And meanwhile, Rachel is more concerned about her appearance. As we saw last chapter, and as we figured, she wasn't going to be able to keep her Icarus persona. And so, she's just upset about it, that she's back to her normal self and not the look that she wanted to keep. Which is silly, but, to each their own, right? So anyway, we come back to Yuri and Bomb. Yuri is checking on Bomb, making sure he's okay, and he is still breathing, so that's a relief for her. And everyone. She speaks for all of us. And then I don't know if she left him in that room for, like temporarily, or if she, like how Kun was able to place people in his lighthouses, or in his lighthouse. I don't know if Yuri's able to do the same, because she's walking alone in this image, if you see it here. But she does stumble upon Rock and Group, who obviously had to have been close by. Rock is trying to wake up Kun, but Kun isn't budging. He's not even breathing, according to a claim that Rock says. So it worries me, because I'm like, dude, you cannot die. There is no freaking way. But then it got me thinking, I'm like, okay, Yuri showed up to this part for a reason, She's not just gonna stumble upon Rock and Group and it's like, oh, like, this was total coincidence, total accident. Like, no, I think there's a reasoning behind it. So I think that Yuri is gonna be able to help Kun out. And on top of that, I do have another theory in regards to Kun. Similar concept, but different person that could help him out. But I'm gonna wait on that until the end of the chapter because the character has not yet been introduced. So once we do get the introduction, then I'll talk about it. So anyway, we get to another group that's discussing the same thing, like, whoa, how did we end up on the train? So this is Boro and Group now. And at one point, I'm pretty sure it's Boro, he's questioning what the point of their going to the hidden floor was even for. And so Hockney has a little bit of insight here for us. The ones who caused this wave are very distant beings. So there's probably meaning in it somewhere. And of course we get an image here. Of course, freaking Rachel's in there like all boo-hooing because she couldn't keep her Icarus persona. But anyway, we do see that Apple Watch bracelet thingamajig in the Stingray. So obviously Hockney knows exactly why they went to the hidden floor, because it was for this object. So I don't know why Boro and Sachi are, questioning why they went to the hidden floor. I don't know if they're aware of what the object was supposed to look like. Probably not. Because, Yeah, okay, that would make sense. I'm sorry. I'm like, wait, like, how do they not know? But okay, I can see why, just because, they weren't there to see this object face to face. Like, Bomb was, like, the only one who saw it, and now it's in Rachel's possession, and I don't think she even has a clue that she has it, so, pretty trippy. So maybe that's a way that Bomb is able to get it back from her. Because she doesn't know that she has it. Like, her stingray caught it, but, that doesn't mean that she knows that the stingray has it, right? So, but, I mean, it's still a matter of, like, how is Bomb gonna get a hold of this? Like, how is he gonna get the stingray to, like, spit out the object or give it to him, But, I don't know, maybe there's, like, some kind of similar object that can, fight against the stingray and, take back the watch. So, we'll see what happens with that. And, so 2 days have passed now, and we are brought to another part of the tower called Administration Authorities Chairperson's Office Wisdom. And, of course, they have the orders as well for the 3 things that they can do, choosing between one of those 3. And then, of course, we meet 2 new characters again. So one of them is the chairperson, whose name is Arvin Liu. And then, again, the other person with him, we don't know their name or their job title. But anyway, their convo is very important. So we'll go ahead and read that from the start here. I can't believe Lord Zahard gave an order like this. None of these 3 options are easy. For now, we've managed to stop this order from spreading all over the administration thanks to the quick thinking of the High Priest. So this is the other dude, not the chairperson. Quick thinking. Now this is the chairperson. And then the other dude. We said that there happens to be a newly recruited ranker, and the order came when he was by himself, but this is his first time experiencing this, so he discarded it without knowing it was an order. In the end, every employee... Oh, okay. So they do have a point to, like, freaking use the dude as a scapegoat, because he just discarded the order. Right? But, I mean, the other person was with him. It was, like, the high altar... No, the vice altar director. Maybe the vice altar director kind of convinced him to discard it, or I don't know. And then, I mean, you do have the high priest who's like, oh, well, let's let only a certain amount of people know, not everybody. So, I don't know. But that must be what it is then. With the previous conversation that we saw with Arthur and the other dude, he was saying how, oh, we'll just blame this new guy, and that's basically what I was saying. It's like, oh, they're going to blame it on him because he, like, screwed up something. So that's probably it already. I didn't think it happened so soon. I thought it was going to happen later on, but, it is what it is. All right. So in the end, every employee below the high priest received the death sentence as punishment for that crime. But for now, we've managed to intercept it on our end and file it as a classified mission. And then the chairperson is like, phew, what a relief that they managed to buy us some time. And then the other dude, I'm going to call him Beak, because it looks like he has a beak here. But it's only a matter of time before word gets out about this, since this order would have also been delivered to Adori Zahard, the captain of Zahard's royal guards, as per the regulations. And then back to chairperson. Yes, we'll have to carry out one of the other orders before the Pobedao family hears about this. What did Adori say when she saw the order? Beak dude, well, she's always a very consistent person, so she responded as expected. She said it's the duty of all officials to ensure that a war does not start, and that she's merely the blade which cuts down the enemies of the Zahard family. She said that the administration should strive for peace, and that the military would try to annihilate all 3 enemies. And back to chairperson. She's still as stubborn as ever. And then back to Beak Dude. Yes, and the fact that she's capable of doing that is what makes her scary. All right, says the chairperson. We had better do something quickly. So, backtracking here a little bit, we get a glimpse of Adori, from behind, of course, but, I mean, it's still cool to see an image of her, and hopefully soon we'll be meeting her. I mean, she's definitely playing an important part in this, because as they said, she works for she is the captain of Zahard's royal guards. And I mean, with that title alone, like, she has a lot of power. On top of that, she's ranked number 7 on that list, right? So, you know, kudos to her for being super awesome, and I'm really excited to meet her at some point. But yeah, I love that she's actually, like, striving for peace. Like, you know, it's kind of defying Zahard's orders, but I think she has her ways around it, which is super cool. So, again, we'll see how that turns out. And I mean, even with her, you know, commanding her army, like, hey, we're not gonna really kill them, we're gonna try. I mean, there's other altars receiving these orders, and, you know, there's someone bound to, like, take things into their own hands. So, I mean, I feel like a war is inevitable, you know, even as, I like to call him Zahard, I don't know why. Even as SIU pointed out in his previous blog, like, you know, he doesn't really want to go into war, like, he'd rather keep things peaceful, but I mean, as I have said, it adds conflict to the story, and that's what makes it interesting. So there's got to be that tension, there's got to be that war that happens. Again, Midori seems like a very neutral person. Like, she's gonna do her best to, like, not get them into war, but someone's gonna come along and fuck it up. So, you know, and I don't know if I want to root for that person or no, because like I said, I mean, with there being a war, like, that would be super interesting, but I mean, war is not fun. You'd be dealing with, like, a lot of losses of, like, favorite characters and all that, and, you know, who knows what fate lies for this tower if that war happens, but, you know, in due time we shall find out, right? So anyway, let's go ahead and get to this last part of the chapter. This is the final scene, floor 91, middle area, which is actually where Jin Sung Ha resides. Of course, Jin Sung Ha is the guy who taught Bomb, right? Made him the jovial grace that we know today. So he is here having a conversation with somebody. So let's go ahead and get started with that convo. You sure brought a lot of floating ships with you. The Zahard family must have a lot of money lately, bringing all those floating ships to a place that's gonna be destroyed soon. Is this a declaration of war or something? Answer me, Maschenny Zahard. And Maschenny responds, yes, there will be a war soon. So I usually used to call her Maschenny, but because I am an avid soccer fan, I've been watching the World Cup. I've been so excited ever since 2014 to, like, see the World Cup again. I'm super bummed that Argentina didn't make it. They were so close last World Cup, and I was, like, seriously hoping they would win this year, but, you know, they got dropped early on, I guess, so it was a bummer, but, you know, I still love them, and, dude, friggin' Mascherano is awesome. So, Mascherano, of course, is the not the influence, I guess the influence would work as a word, right? Yeah, Mascherano is who Maschenny is, like, modeled off of, like, in terms of her name, not so much the physicalities. But yeah, like, yeah, it's just so awesome. And then it was really cool seeing Marco Asensio, too, playing, he's from the Spain team. And then, of course, Kun Agüero is from Argentina. So I'm just like, all the Tower of God names in soccer. I was, like, excited, but none of those teams made it far enough, and I was like, no! But anyway, enough about soccer. Now that Maschenny got brought up, she is the person that I was talking about earlier about my potential theory. So, with Yuri and Maschenny not having talked for a while, and my thought is that Yuri could try different tactics to try and help out Kun, and nothing's working, and so maybe she gets in touch with Maschenny and is like, hey, you want to help me out with your brother? Like, we got to revive him, okay? So I think that would be pretty cool, but that's not why Maschenny made her appearance this chapter. Obviously, there's something important going on here with Jin Sung Ha and Maschenny. I don't know that I feel like they would yeah, I mean, it would make the most sense if they faced off, but I guess I was thinking something else, because it didn't really click in my mind until right now that obviously she's there to, take them down, as well as that whole floor, I guess, as Jin Sung indicated. But, I'd like to think that they might work together, Maybe it's like a kind of decoy thing. Like, she brought all these ships with her, but it's not necessarily to attack. Like, I don't know. She's trying to recruit Jin Sung. I don't know. But yeah, because obviously Jin Sung works for Foog, and then Maschenny is part of the Hard Empire. So there's obviously these tensions between them, and I don't think she's there to convince him to work with her, because he'd obviously side with Foog, unless she's actually willing to betray Zahard and get Jin Sung to help her. And can I just say that Jin Sung, I don't know if I've mentioned this before in a review. I've definitely thought it way back early on in season 2 when we first met Jin Sung, but he reminds me of Spike so much. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, friggin', if this were turned into an anime, like, I would love Steve Bloom to voice Jin Sung Ha, like, for serious. Like, I guess I could talk to Joe, Dr. Bonehead, and be like, hey, we need to cast someone who's able to do a Spike voice for Jin Sung. Because I would love that so much. As you guys know, Joe, Dr. Bonehead, is the director of the Tower of God dub that's on YouTube. I've had him on the show a couple times, and I've also shared links to the episodes every now and then. I should do it again, so I'll provide it in this review. But yeah. So anyway, I'm just trying to help out with casting. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this chapter. I mean, I don't know what else to add about Maschenny and Jin Sung here. Again, it's probably more of, tensions between them, and they're gonna, like, duke it out. I don't know. I'd like to see them team up together. I think that'd be cool. Or maybe they have something going on with each other. But anyway, yep, that's pretty much it. I mean, I already, supplied my theories. I don't think the Maschenny-kun one will work out, but definitely the Yuri-kun one could. In terms of anything else, I don't really have theories. That was pretty much it. Because I'm worried for my boy, guys. He's got to live. He's got to live because he can't go this way. But anyway, as usual, I do like to hear your guys' thoughts, so be sure to comment below with your theories, your comments, what you disagree on and what you agree on of what I've said. I know I disagree with some of the things that I said in this review. I kind of got crazy with it. But anyway, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, in regards to comments, I feel so bad that y'all have commented and I have not had a chance to reply. Like, I've just been, like, busy and all over the place, and I have a few trips coming up, so it's like, that's gonna pull me away even more from getting able to respond. But, hopefully soon I can, do that. I haven't even had time to, like, look at the blog, SIU's blog, so I'm gonna probably ditch that this week just to keep this review shorter, because we're already, running past the usual time. But definitely I want to look at the blog notes for next chapter. But anyway, that's pretty much it. So I hope you guys have a fantastic week, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace.